Alternate History of the British Empire, Imperial Federation, Part 1, 1880 to 1900. On November 18, 1884, the Imperial Federation League is established in London by William Edward Forster. The main goals of the League are 1. To secure by federation the permanent unity of the British Empire, 2. Establish free trade within the Empire, and 3. Establish an imperial parliament consisting of white self-governing colonies, which would be responsible for imperial defense, trade, and foreign policy. Between 1884 and 1889, branches of the Imperial Federation League are established in major cities and settlements across the empire. In 1886, the empires of Europe agree at the Berlin Conference to carve up Africa. The British Empire gains large amounts of territory across the continent. In 1887, the League convinces the British government to host the first colonial conference in London. The conference is held between April 4th and May 6, 1887. Participants include diplomats from the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland, the Dominion of Canada, the Colony of Newfoundland, the Australasian colonies of New South Wales, Tasmania, South Australia, New Zealand, Victoria, Queensland, and Western Australia, and the African colonies Cape Colony and the Natal Colony. During the month-long conference, agreements are signed regarding increased imperial cooperation and trade, increased naval defense in the Pacific, with the colonies of Australasia agreeing to cover more of the cost. The idea of an Australasian to Western Canada telegraph cable is proposed for further consideration, and Queen Victoria's royal title is agreed to as Queen of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Ireland, and the colonies, and all dependencies thereof, and Empress of India. 3 years later, a second colonial conference is held in Ottawa, the capital of the Dominion of Canada. The conference takes place from May 1st to June 3rd, 1890. The same colonies who participated in the first colonial conference attend. However, this time, diplomats from the colony of Fiji also attend. Plans and agreements made at the conference include 1. A preliminary plan for telegraph cables to connect every continent of the empire. 2. May 24th is designated as the Imperial Holiday of Empire Day in celebration of Queen Victoria's birthday. And 3. Colonial conferences are agreed to be held every 3 years. Throughout the rest of the last decade of the 19th century, the Imperial Federation League's propaganda campaign is very successful, and support for the idea grows massively throughout the United Kingdom, the Dominions, and the colonies. The Third Colonial Conference takes place in London from June 6th to July 10th, 1893. New participants include delegates from India. Important agreements at this conference include 1. Increased cooperation and funding from colonies for imperial defense. 2. The All-Red Line telegraph cable project to connect every corner of the empire is agreed upon. And 3. Preliminary agreements for imperial free trade are established. In 1885, due to a major economic crisis in the colony of Newfoundland, Canada agreed to accept Newfoundland as a province of the Dominion of Canada. The Fourth Colonial Conference is held in the Victoria Colony from April 24th to May 31st, 1896. Important agreements and plans include 1. Imperial free trade is agreed to be implemented. 2. Preliminary plans for an imperial council are discussed. And 3. Colonies agree to increase their share of the cost of imperial defense. In June of 1897, representatives and subjects from all over the empire flocked to London for Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee to celebrate her 60 years on the throne. Imperial prime ministers, officials, and troops from every corner of the empire join in the procession to celebrate the Queen. The Fifth Colonial Conference is held in London from May 4th to June 8th, 1899. Important agreements and plans from this conference include 1. colonies agree to send troops to southern Africa in the event of a war with the Boer republics too. Discussions around an imperial council continued, and 3. Agree to establish increased tariffs on goods from non-imperial nations. The colonial conferences and the increased cooperation during the 1890s among the governments of the empire helped to increase imperial unity and create a more imperial identity throughout the empire. This helped lay the foundation for the Imperial Federation. However, this unity would be tested with the outbreak of the Second Boer War on October 11, 1899. During the nearly 3 years of fighting, hundreds of thousands of troops from every corner of the empire volunteered to join the war effort. Troops from Canada, the Australasian colonies, the African colonies, and India served in South Africa. In 1901, after years of negotiation, the colonies of Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, South Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, and British New Guinea formed the Dominion of Australasia on January 1, 1901. This new Australasian Dominion is viewed by many as one of the first steps toward an imperial federation. On January 22, 1901, grief hit the empire with the news of Queen Victoria's death at the age of 81. After 63 years on the throne, she became the longest-serving monarch in British and imperial history. Her son, Edward VII, ascends the throne. On May 31, 1902, the Second Boer War came to an end. The war resulted in a British and imperial victory. The resulting treaty ended the existence of the Transvaal and Orange Free State as independent Boer republics and placed them within the British Empire. There were over 150,000 casualties during the conflict. British and imperial forces suffered nearly 100,000 casualties, and the Boer republics suffered over 50,000 casualties. With the war's success, the 6th Colonial Conference was held from June 11th to August 9th, 1902 in London. At the conference, the United Kingdom, the Dominions, and the colonies agreed to begin the process of imperial federalization. They agreed to hold Imperial Federation conferences in London every 2 years to work towards creating an imperial constitution and governing bodies. The first conference is scheduled for the spring of 1904. In October 1902, the All-Red Line telegraph cable was completed, connecting all continents of the empire and making the process of federalization easier. The next 20 years would see massive changes come to the British Empire as a revolutionary idea began to take shape. Join us next time for Part 2 of the alternate history of the British Empire Imperial Federation. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.